Hey, Chris Jenkins, credentialed member of the media, covering the Carolina Panthers for Charlotte Vibe, aka Man of the People, here tonight to talk to you about this Carolina Panthers team who had a lot of improvement that they showed yesterday as they took on the Kansas City Chiefs. Final score in that game was 30-27. It was a last-second field goal by the Chiefs to pull that game out. But for me, man, it was a wonderful game to watch. It was a game that, you know, more victories, no, but in terms of is there something to look forward to? Absolutely, positively, yes. So, you know how it goes for tonight? My sound is weird, huh? Yeah, I was thinking it was weird, so that's what I'm trying to look and make some adjustments. Uh, is it weird like as in low? Because it looks like my levels are low. Oh, here we go. How about this right here? Is that the professionalism that you can come to expect from Charlotte Vibe? Is that a lot better? That's probably a lot better. Thank you so much for pointing that out, making true money. Appreciate you very much. What's going on, Antonio McClanahan? What's going on, Shad? So, thanks for letting me know about the microphone. I got lots of stuff going on sometimes. I don't know if you noticed, but at the beginning I was like, my levels don't look right on my mic, but now it's right, and now we're all good. So, which, by the way, let me go ahead and quickly plug this for everybody tuning in. The GoFundMe support has been spectacular. Hopefully, you all got a chance to notice a really big difference yesterday in our pregame broadcast. Shouts out to Jonathan Stewart, who stopped by for a split second, but it was pretty cool. But the audio should have sounded tremendously better throughout the entire show because we were able to afford the headsets due to your donation. So there's now just one more piece of equipment that we're trying to get. And if you're able to support that, the link is in the description. And that'd be great for you to support. So tonight's show is all about interacting with you guys and taking your questions, your comments. There's a link in the description in case anybody wants to call in, which I hope you guys do. I hope you guys enjoy calling in. And for those that do call in, we got a timer. All right. There's a 2-minute time limit that you have that I'm going to be a little bit more strict about. But I do really want to encourage people to call in, have some fun, talk with me, vent, ask a question, whatever it may be. Shad, I see that you're already in queue. I'm just taking a second to get my headset ready, and then I'll bring you on. What's up, Tim Estes? And then we got my man Thomas. All right, so we got the regulars, which I appreciate. Oh, Thomas, I brought you on. I wasn't even ready to bring you on. I don't know how you did that, but give me a second. Don't talk yet for me to put this in my ear. Shad, my bad. I didn't mean to hit a button that I hit to bring on Thomas. But Thomas, what's going on?
Hey, what's good, Chris? What's good?
Having a good day, man. How you feeling?
You know what? Hey, on Thanksgiving break, it's
Already?
almost. Hey, you know what? My school district, we did a full week compared to other districts in the area, and hey, you know what? I'll take it. I mean, we're already almost halfway through the school year already, but hey, you know what? Feeling good. On break, Panthers don't, put up a good fight. I mean, I think we can put to bed that, drafting a quarterback in the first round, I think, sitting Bryce actually did some good for him. Doing the whole, like, everybody was worried about his psyche, but I think it actually kind of I wouldn't say mellow him out, but humbled him a little bit because, he got the keys to the Ferrari right away. Granted, a broken down Ferrari, but 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 I think also he did really well in high school, college, and it humbled him to like, you know what, maybe I do need to take a step back and learn, and that's what he did, and he's starting to finally be the quarterback that we all hoped he would. I mean, he's making those throws. He's not doing the little dinking and dunking to where the defense is sitting on the routes that I've been going over for the past year. But, I know there's no such thing as a moral victory, but, to go toe to toe with, first of all, I think they were almost a 10.5 point underdog or something like that. And at first, when they gave up that big
Opening
kick
kickoff.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh God, here we go. And they scored quickly, and I'm like, okay, but no, they actually hung in there. I mean, the one thing that's a little alarming, I mean, is some of their defensive scheme. I think also I get it that they have some players in there that they're just literally, you know, plugging in because of injuries or whatever. But I, if I was them going into the offseason, defense, 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 maybe go get another weapon for Bryce. But that defense, if I know we were all high on Avera, but I personally do not think a 3-4 scheme works. Carolina, half of their acknowledgments, even if where been a fan, was a 4-3. And I think when they went away from that 3-4, go to a 3-4, they just don't have the personnel for it. And I mean, maybe get rid of. Maybe we should say bye to Avero, let him go, flourish somewhere else because that seems like what everybody does. But I think now with Carolina starting to turn the corner, I don't think they're going to be like, oh, that get right game. I think they're going to be that tough out for some of these teams. So yesterday was a good thing. You know, now they play Tampa Bay. So we'll see on how Canales can go against his former team. I mean, hopefully they'll be good. I'm hoping for maybe a victory.
Did you hear the little chimer?
I did.
Yeah. I decided to go with something a little subtle versus because I'm a nice guy like that.
I like it. I like it. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's late, as long as I like it. Something
Thanks so
different.
much. Thanks so much, Thomas. I'm gonna get to the next person. Good to see you.
All
Have
right.
fun on your break, man.
Thank you. Have a good night, Chris.
You as well. Don't go
Bye
yet
bye.
though. You said good night like you're leaving. Don't go yet.
Oh, okay. Okay.
From the show. So, Shaked, thanks for waiting patiently. Let me comment on his stuff for a second, and then I'm going to come right over to you. And for everybody watching, again, this is an interactive show. The link's in the description. Would love for you guys to click on it, have a comment, ask a question, whatever it may be. It's your chance to get on my platform and hang out with me for a little bit. But Thomas was talking about Bryce and excuse me. I tried to drink a lot of water before I came on. I don't think it's helping. Bryce and his passing. So I want to throw this up here. I used to put this out there all the time, and then life happened and I forgot. But here's like an evolution of Bryce Young that is just so beautiful. This used to look like, as you see, most of his passes are beyond the blue line, also known as the line of scrimmage. And if you go back to Bryce Young before the benching, you would nowhere near even imagine this was like a dream, a fantasy to see such a chart where it was only 4 passes behind the line of scrimmage. And look, they're all green, which is good. But look at there. Look how many are beyond 20 yards. It's plenty of them. And I always made a point to say when I was looking at his chart, no, he doesn't have to throw a bomb every single time. But show some balance. Do some things that are going to make that defense think for a second. Because, you're just trying to get some separation. You're trying to get every little advantage that you can. And if you have one ball deep, you could just have things look different. But, Thomas, thanks for your comment. Yeah, Bryce is continuing to evolve. We don't so much look like the get-right game for people right now. I think, across the NFL, they should say Panthers still have some work to do. But it's not just going to be a steamrolling kind of situation. Now, this is going to be an interesting matchup this Sunday, playing against a former team of our new head coach. But, we'll see. But Shaked is waited long enough. I know he had one other comment Thomas did about the defense. I'm not going to talk about that because I know my man Shaked is going to take all 2 of his minutes to talk about the defense. I don't know. I'm going to watch some more film a little bit closely. I kind of don't feel like we could do much differently than we're doing. Maybe again, I need to look at it a little bit more. But I will say this. The defense got better as the game went on. Like, the Chiefs scored fewer points, which to me is your defense is doing something. And the Panthers scored more in this game. But nevertheless, I've made this young man wait long enough. And boom, he has is that a smile on your face?
Yeah,
No.
Cam Jill.
Hey, I got to kick you off. You're smiling. What's up?
No, I'm happy with how they play, but I agree with Thomas about Evero. I'm on the Evero got to go club.
Okay, before you
Because,
get into that, you're
yeah.
smiling.
No, I mean, I'm smiling. They play great. They play great. Here's this David Newton, before the game, wrote the Chiefs are 10-point favorite. I wrote him back just because the Chiefs are 10-point favorite. The game is not being played on paper, and the Panthers will probably win. So I wasn't surprised that the game was close because under Canales Chris, they're playing tough. Except the Bills game and the Commanders game, well, one could make a case that they quit. The rest of the games, they're playing tough. If you remember, I mentioned it so many times on Twitter because I believe it's the truth. Not preseason, the game before the Saints opener, I was on your show. The record, I wasn't correct. But remember what I told you. This team has resembled the 2022 Lions team. And there's so much similarity. That team had young quarterback, playing tough. Same thing with the Panthers. Difference-wise, they got 5 sacks, which is outstanding. The most they got in a game in the season so far. But number one, they're not blitzing enough. I mean, look, when they sent on, they got a sack. Number two, the tackling is terrible. I mean, Dean Jackson had a wide open missed tackles that could have tackled Kareem Hunt, did not do that job. So that is number one. Number two, I'm a big fan of Canales from day one, and he's proven to be, in a way, the next Dan Campbell. Of course, not in the attitude and rudeness and all of that. But I watched your great interview with Jordan Matthews, and he's a veteran, and he's getting the message. Players are motivated. We didn't see that last year, Chris. And we definitely don't need to draft a quarterback. I mean, I was so impressed that I brought the ticket to the game on Sunday, which before I said, nah. So hopefully I see you guys on Sunday. Let me know where you guys are hanging around and I can come by. But anyway, I'm impressed. They're in the right direction. We need dogs on defense, and I would trade everything for Travis Santo because he cannot miss the prospect.
Okay.
And quick question for ADP, since you have him interviewed. I know
Okay.
he's from Brazil, if I remember correctly. Brazil's is the most country with all of the soccer players. Pelé, Romario, Ronaldinho, you name it. So out of curiosity, I know his father played football, but what made him become an NFL player and not trying to be like Brazilian and become a soccer player, maybe a goalkeeper or a striker or forward, something like that?
Okay. All right, man. I'll let you go over a full minute. I'm going to go ahead and address everything. But thank you so much for coming on. We're always by the East Gate, I think is what it is, by the Honeywell building. But nevertheless, if you can catch up with us, that'd be great. Appreciate you coming on, man. I hope all is well.
Sure. Anytime, same. Happy
Thank-
Thanksgiving.
Oh, cut him off. But yes, happy Thanksgiving to you as well, Shaked. So he's not a fan of Ivero. Hadn't liked him for a while, feeling like he's not doing some good things. Again, you guys are saying it a lot, and I feel like I need to double check. I need to watch some film, look at things really, really critically. Maybe I've just been given too much favor to the fact that we've had some defenses personnel wise not being as good as it should be, and feel like the guys who were there are doing fine. But yeah, bad tackling yesterday. It wasn't like atrocious where you're just like, oh my goodness, every play. But there was certainly more than one time yesterday where you saw a play and you said, oh man, that tackle was not too good. I know even my guy Trevin Wallace, who I think has been doing a really, really good job as a rookie, he missed a tackle in the backfield, and fortunately nothing went for a big long, but it just stood out like, man, that's a little bit of a missed tackle right there. So, yeah, we could get better there. And let me go back to my notes here from the wonderful Shad. And then I see some comments coming. Keep the comments coming. But again, anybody that wants to go ahead and join me on the show, I like people calling in to talk. Give me just a second. I'm trying to find the rest of my notes to Shad, what he just talked about. Why am I not finding my notes? All right. Yeah, defense, bad tackling, more blitzing. Okay. And Eddie Pinheiro on why not in the NFL. So I think, if my memory serves me correctly, that Eddie Pinheiro has said that he wanted to do soccer, but he just was flat out better at football. So there you have it. I think a lot of us could probably relate to that. Hey, we want to do one sport, but we're not that good at it, so we end up doing another sport because we're a little bit better at it, and we still do the other sport as a hobby. But thanks for the question, and I will certainly add that to the mix. Again, I'm like to say man to people because I get a lot of information from you guys in terms of what do you want to see, what do you want me to do, and I try to do that. So first interview I did last week was with Jordan Matthews, and Eddie Pinheiro has been the suggested person for the second interview. I'll have one more that I'll be able to do before the end of the season. I've gotten some comments that you all want that to be Jalen Coker. I've been thinking of wanting to get a guy on the line, offensive line, or somebody on the defensive side. So I don't do all offense. Jordan's on the offense, Eddie's on the offense, but you guys decide, all right? So I'll do whatever you all end up voting for there. So let's go ahead and continue to point out some things. Now, I want to give you guys some transactions because the Carolina Panthers did make a transaction today, and I want to make sure I bring that to your attention. I don't have the screen graphics for you, but I'll share it with you. So the Carolina Panthers claimed cornerback Caleb Evans off waivers, and we waived outside linebacker Charles Harris. Now, Caleb was waived this past weekend. Who was he waived by? Looked like the Vikings. Yeah, he was. Yep, so they signed him to the roster and waived Charles Harris. That is your transaction. So one more time, because I kind of fumbled through that. The Carolina Panthers today did have one transaction. They claimed cornerback Caleb Evans off waivers, signing him to the 53-man roster, which means we had to do a corresponding move. Anytime you sign a player off of waivers, obviously he has to come onto your roster. You can't put him straight onto your practice squad. And they waived outside linebacker Charles Harris in a corresponding move. Also want to give you an update. Let's see if I have I probably don't immediately have it. Yesterday was a salute to service, so I didn't mean to show this picture here, but this is a great picture. I'm trying to see if I can quickly find the picture of Ja'Tavion Sanders. There we go. Yesterday, Ja'Tavion Sanders, here is the miss of the hit as he's getting impacted on the ground there after being hit by the Chiefs. He ended up being loaded on a board, put on a cart, and ultimately taken to the hospital just for some precautionary evaluation. He was released from the hospital yesterday. I don't know, it seemed like within about 3 hours or so of being there. Was back in the building today with the doctors and staff of the Carolina Panthers. So he has avoided, gratefully, significant injury. And they feel like by Wednesday, they'll go to make further evaluation. So why by Wednesday? Well, today he was back in the building, but the players really had today off. And they always have Tuesdays off, and they'll come back Wednesday. So Wednesday will be the first time they have a chance to be back on the field and running through some things and see how he feels. So hopefully he'll continue to progress and be in some good health. So I want to bring that report to you guys as well. All right, so let's go ahead and continue to work through some of these comments that we have coming here. Again, link is in the description for anybody, and I hope that you will consider joining the show. And if not, I'll just go ahead and work through the comments as well. What's going on, Southside Kid? Good to see you. golden now. So you guys do like the mic adjustment. I try. Tim Estes, what's going on with you, Tim? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. And we have some information here. Shane says 9, dropping dimes. So, yeah, do we go for a quarterback in the first round? No, we don't. I don't feel like we would. You know, Bryce has now played 4 good games, 4 solid competitive football games. And I feel like you can start to confidently say, this is something that we can build on. I know Dave Canales probably has things that he's not going to share with the media about Bryce and his progress, but everybody can see that yesterday against the Chiefs, he played a good game where he was under pressure and he stood in the pocket. You know, a lot of things before you can see, Bryce is bailing out the pocket too soon. Bryce is letting a ball sail. Like, he seems uncomfortable back there. I never even got into that much like close-up analytical, just watching his feet and watching his release point and all that stuff. I just could tell, like, man, this guy, he's not it. And now watching that game yesterday, there were so many times I'm in the press box watching, I'm thinking, oh man, we're about to have the chip stacked against us here. This is not a good look. We're about to be in a deficit. And he would have composure to stick in the pocket. He would have the composure to go through his reads and make the call on, you know, when there's blitz coming, not getting too happy feet. He'd also improvise. He'd scramble and get some more time. He'd also run the ball when he needed to run the ball. He did things like give his guys an opportunity. He threw some 50-50 balls, and not necessarily deep 50-50 balls, but just balls that were not, you know, I think it was Sanders. I could be wrong. I know the play and where it was coming from, but I think he threw the ball to Sanders on a play that might have been 20 yards down the field, and it was a jump ball, and he went up and got it. He did the same thing with, man, I hadn't watched the film enough to remember everybody's name for each play, but it was in the end zone toward the end of the game when we got the PI, and Bryce is kind of rolling to his left a little bit. The play has gone too long, and he throws across his body to the other side of the field, but he throws it so well. He threw it with the right amount of air under it. He threw it with the right amount of depth to it. And he threw it in a way that only gave his receiver the best chance to get the ball. And that's some great progress. So, Shane, you're right. 9 dropping dimes. Donald Duck. As long as Bryce can be consistent, then he's the guy. I'm rooting for Bryce. But remember, what we gave up and where we picked him, it's expected. Yeah. Another comment on Bryce. Good game, Bryce. You finally look like a first-round pick. Keep it up. Absolutely. And, you know, Bryce seemed a little, you know, Coach Canales said the guys were sick in their stomachs. This is the way he described a little bit of the locker room. And Bryce looked a little bit of that yesterday. And it was kind of refreshing to see not a Bryce, I just got my butt whooped, got sacked 50 times, got a passer rating of like 50, more so than a Bryce is like, man, could have won that game, you know? So it's good to see the evolution. It's good to see the maturation, good to see the progression. So, yeah. And for life, missed you yesterday, Chris. I was stuck home sick. Oh, man, hopefully you get better. And we will still be there. I think 3 more home games, same place. So if you're able to stop by, I know Knucklehead Cake stopped by. By the way, Knucklehead, good job. So here's a little tip, even though you guys have been really, really good about this. If you come by and we're actually live, then there's probably not much more than a wave that we can do because we got a format and don't have microphones to bring you into the show. It's best to get there early so we can talk to you a little bit before the show gets underway. But typically once we're live, can't do much other than a quick hello type of thing. But anyway, let's continue to work through all of these. My man, helping the cause. I like it when people help the cause. We just got super chat. You guys are going to help me get this new equipment. Again, I was excited yesterday. If you haven't watched the pregame show from yesterday, do yourself a favor. Shad from Panther Nation Podcast always joins me, guy full of knowledge and fun to talk football with. Jonathan Stewart stopped by for a split second, but the audio quality of that broadcast was so much better. You could hear all of us talking. We could hear each other talking, so we didn't have to yell. So you guys made that possible, and I appreciate it. Welcome back. I see the culture and confidence of this team building. I'm planning to bring my dad to the Panthers versus Cowboys game. What is your suggestion on the best way to get to the stadium for parking? First of all, congratulations. If you guys are able to stop by and say hello, again, I think we're on the East Gate, but it's right by the Honeywell building. That would be great. I'd love to meet you. Hopefully you and your dad will have a good experience, good game. You know, Dallas hasn't been too good, so to get a victory, while I'm quite sure there will still be a lot of Cowboys fans here, that would be awesome. Now for the disappointing part, right? And the disappointing part is I'm with the media. I've been in the media for like over 15 years. Some things I can't help you guys with because I don't have experience in that capacity. So when I get to the game, I'm getting there to the stadium about 10:45, and the game starts at 1 o'clock. So there's not much traffic that I have to deal with. There's not many people that I have to deal with. And as far as parking goes, there's a designated parking area that I go to. I never have to go and find my parking. So unfortunately, I can't give you too much advice. Unfortunately, I can't. The only thing I could think of to give you advice-wise in terms of making parking easy, I don't know how old your dad is, so he may not want to walk too much. But I think if you had the opportunity to ride the light rail, I would guess it's about 4 blocks from the stadium. That could be an easy solution. Otherwise, I can tell you this, it's expensive. It's probably easily $50 to park close to the stadium. So if anybody else watching has some advice for Ali with the super chat, I appreciate him coming on in terms of helping him find out parking. I know Shad goes to the games all the time. Please leave him in the comments so I can help him out with some parking so he can get to the game against Dallas and have a good time. All right, let me go through a few more comments here. Tonight's show is a little abbreviated. I'm inspired to put up some light, so I'm a little late. Okay. I'd love to hear Smith Wade. Okay, Shaw Smith Wade. All right, appreciate you guys giving me some more comments here. Okay, giving me some more suggestions for the interview. Hunt or Lewis? You know, Lewis might be good. I know I've talked to Hunt several times, and he's been pretty cool. I'll take all this into consideration. Drew, really? What year? Not this year, not next year. Even though if you want a fun stat, the Carolina Panthers still have a chance at having a winning season. Thanks to the 17-game season, right? We still have a chance. We could win outright, finish the season at 9-8, have a winning season. But Drew, I like the happiness. I like the enthusiasm. Want to encourage everybody, if you're not following me on all the social medias, Twitter and Instagram, to do so. I'm going to be posting a lot of pictures on Instagram from the game yesterday. Again, we have the best photographer there is doing some big things out there for us. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the show tonight. I appreciate sitting down and talking with you all the time. Tuesday's an off day. Unless there's some transactions, we'll certainly report that. Wednesday, we'll be back at it. Thursday, they do have practice, but they typically haven't made it available to the media. So I don't know what we're going to have on Thursday, but certainly if there is practice on Thursday, I will continue to report with you guys, and then interviews will get started back next week. That goal is Eddie Pinheiro. Otherwise, thank you all very much. Carolina Panthers are certainly trending in the right direction. I posted on Twitter yesterday, is the culture changing? And as Shad mentioned, if you haven't seen that interview with Jordan Matthews, I think it is really a good peel the layer back look at this Carolina. Actually, I'm going to play a little preview. If you haven't seen the Jordan Matthews, here's Jordan Matthews on Dave Canales.
He knows it's a marathon, and he treats it like one. So, like his patience,
All right, that was the wrong clip. So let me try again, because that was not the right clip. Let's try this one right here. And again, if you haven't seen this interview, I try to do interviews that gives you a different view. My son is on here. I'll see what he wants in just a second. But let me play this clip real quick.
He knows it's a marathon and he treats it like one. So like his patience, I think, is one thing that stood out to me. He's like, this is our scheme. This is how we marry up everything. Mm-hmm. We're going to trust it. It's going to work. Whereas I've seen coaches after a loss, 2 losses, 4 losses, start to get flustered, and now it's like, all right, scrap that. We're 100%. It's like, no, we've got a process. This is how it's going to work. And he has methods. Like, he's done things. I know, like, people are like, how's this thing going with Bryce? How's this thing going? He's handled all those things as good as any head coach can handle it. And now, as a team, you see us starting to mesh. You see the run game starting to come together. Mm-hmm. You see the defense starting to get the ball out. These are all things that he preached early on.
So there's a snippet of the interview with Jordan Matthews talking about Dave Canales. And if you want to try to get a better understanding of like how this team is respecting their coach, the impact that he's having on his coach, watch that interview. And I think that you will have either a new perspective or your thoughts on Canales may be strengthened about him being a good fit for this team right now. So thank you all very much for watching. Chris Jenkins reporting for Charlotte Vibe. I'll see you guys shortly.